Tenfold, tenfold, tenfold. What's going on with you, good brother?
What's going on, boss?
Oh man,
How you
that's what's
feeling?
up. We live and direct right now. We live and direct. We own air. You got some light up in there? Oh, this is in my eyes or my shades here. What's happening?
I don't know. Hold on. I might have to here we go. Set the brightness up. Can you see now?
I can see you, but it just looked like it's a little dim up in there. But it's okay. It's okay. It could just be my lighting. I got on some I got my little designer little shades on and things like that. You know what I'm talking about. Um, so what I'm gonna do right now in the beginning of this situation is program right here. I'm gonna take I want you to take your video and tap on that camera, like cam down for me.
All
Okay.
right.
All right, what I'm gonna do, if you mute your mic, I'm gonna do the introduction song, and then we're gonna get into what we about to get into for
Yes,
sure.
sir.
Let's go. I learned a long time ago that life is really what you make it. If you want life to be sweet, it'll be sweet. If you want it to be tough, it'll be tough. If you lay down on yourself, you just down on yourself. If you make a fool and a fool let you make them a fool, then you got a fool. But when you standing in the presence of the truth, there are no cracks. You can't penetrate the armor. I'm not about that fussing. I'm not about that debating. I'm here for love. I'm here to help the people. Let the angels of death do what they do. Yeah, the messenger. That's right. I'm just the messenger. That's right. Pay attention to the story here. I'm only going to tell it once. Scruffily made. I'm part of the game, but the game defamed me, so I had to maintain. Push back on the other side to let them know when it come to war, I'm ready to ride. But not the war you thinking about. That's man-made. I'm on spiritual, lifted nature. Then the laws that govern that, that's what it is. I can't transcend. I gotta stand on that. 10 toes down with 10 fingers. I'm all grounded. I see the cosmos open up for me, a treasure. Because everything that I invest is nothing but love, prosperity, and joy. Don't make me get crazy in this mode. Cause my kind of crazy would drive you crazy and make you go insane. Cause I don't speak on it. I just sit up in the booth and thank God for everything he gave me. I mean the love and the behavior. I had to go there. I paid a heavy price, man, to go there. Yeah, I descended into hell, then ascended and ascended. And I'm here. Let's go up in this piece. It's your favorite icon up in the building, and you already know what time it is. I'm gonna have my brother Cam back up. Boom. I got Mr. Vegas up in the building with me today. You can mic on up. There he go right there. So we up in the building, man. Welcome to another episode. We are the City Network with your favorite icon, the Icon6, and we up in here. It's whatever respectfully. We're gonna be, and I do put emphasis on respectfully. It's whatever. We're gonna be talking a little bit about some things that my brother put on my mind while at work. But before I do that, I want to welcome to this stage Mr. Vegas. And Mr. Vegas, if you don't mind, can you properly introduce yourself properly to our viewers?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. From Vegas. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Definitely gonna rep my Steelers.
Hey,
34 years old, and I'm a family-oriented man. You know,
that's what's
seeking
up.
positivity into the community, trying to uplift our people. And keep them conscious. And that's pretty much it.
Hey, 10 for Roger that. We're gonna be digging inside their head to get a little bit more. I understand when you first come that thing, you know what I'm saying, you want to be directing to the point, but we need to unwrap Mr. Vegas and get more into the brother mind because I think some of the things
Sure.
that you just said about um just to be in a position to even want to help people is one thing in a conscious way so that they can see past the point of what they can see if it's detrimental to them. So I might want to dig a little bit into that as we go on inside of the conversation. So I appreciate that. You were saying to me the other day when we was at work, and by the way, we do work for Matrix Facility Solutions. Shout out to the whole Matrix family.
Word. Shout out to them.
Absolutely. Mr. Anthony Mountagoat, and the whole crew and the whole family. Talking about the state of mind of our people, and that's what we're gonna be talking about. That state of mind of us, what that is from your perspective, what you seeing, what you hearing, and what makes you want to address some of those issues about us as people and how we're moving and what we're doing and the whole mindset that we have, because that's what you was kind of on that day. And it was like, yeah, that's a cool topic. I think that's a topic that need to be revamped and rediscussed over and over and over again, as things look kind of crazy. So can you just for the record here kind of state what you were saying to me and why that was important to you?
Yeah, so basically, we need to have self love. You know what I mean? People don't love themselves, so they don't see uh um the things that's going on. You know what I mean, in their community, and they don't care. You know what I mean? It's just what your mind cannot conceive, your eyes won't perceive. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to, let's see, how can I put this? Basically, you just got to be able to love yourself. Like, you got to be able to love yourself and accept, you know, who you are. You know, that's what people got to do. The black community just really ain't loving themselves internally. You know what I mean? And that's just what I've been seeing a lot.
Now I'm gonna ask you. I want to get a little critical here in that thought process because I understand where you're coming from. I'm quite sure those who are grassroots level people and those who are concerned about the things that you're concerned about and see the things that you see, um, just to get a better discernment of that. Because when we say people don't love themselves or we're watching things that's very harmful out there, my question would be when we say the people not loving themselves, I know it's gonna be a segment of people saying, "Hey, that's not me. Them people don't represent me." So when we can you go in a little bit more detail of what that means when you say people not loving themselves?
It's like you're not you're not confident. You know what I mean? Uh, um, you're always in a argument. You know what I mean? You don't see the positive side of things.
Mm,
You know, you approach things in a negative way, in a negative light, instead of approaching in a positive way. You know, uh, that's kind of the gist of it.
okay. I'm
And go
go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm gonna put it in a scenario type situation. Let's deal with conversation, the way we talk to each other. Um,
Okay.
because I those specifications right there being specific, like the way we talk to each other, the way we dress, the way we eat, the way we support each other, um, the different things that we involve ourselves in. See, all of those particular things right there, if it's not in a positive way, it's gonna be in a negative. You can be only positive or negative. And I know we struggle sometimes because we in and we out, and that if a person is in and out, that does what you said, show a lack of confidence. It's like a flag, you wavering back and forth. So you don't know what you really want to do. And maybe that's the reason or a part of the cause of why you see the things that you see. But in conversation, we'll take that point, and we'll move to another one. Um, in conversation, you know, when you hear us talking to each other, when you see that, or within yourself as well, because that's where it has to start. Your conversation with people. How do you approach a conversation with our people? And do you find yourself at times being one of the ones that's an agitator, or are you the one that's trying to, be the the calmer one,
Yeah,
to bring
I'm
the peace in?
I'm always going into a situation with a positive mindset.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm always trying to de-escalate something. You know, and it's kind of, it gets to the point where it's aggravating. You know, you don't always want to, you know, turn the other shoulder, as they used to say, like the old saying, turn the other shoulder and do the right thing. But you know, once you love yourself, once you love God, you find yourself, know who you truly are. You know what I'm saying? And you're comfortable in your own skin. You know, so that's when you approach things in a better way. You know, I never approach it on a negative side. Always look in a positive way, because you never know how things are going to turn out. You know, and you don't want that for anybody. You know, in situations, I approach the smallest dude like I approach the biggest dude. You know, I approach a small person just like the big person. So it don't matter who it is. You know, I always treat people the way they want to be treated. You know, and that's that. You know, that's part of the reason that we have so many problems, because we don't get back to uh uh the cultural way, like how we was brought up. You know,
Hmm.
and that's kind of like we're shying away from that. You know, we're shying away from a lot of ways that we was brought up. Everything is changing, and people are caring less. You know what I'm saying, and not looking to, you know, have that bond and that connection no more. Everything is easy. Now, when you go to places, you know, you can't even have a sit down with your family, because everything is already pre-made. Like I went to the grocery store the other day. They got crepes and stuff pre-made. We can't even have, you know, a family in one house. Everything's on the go. You know what I mean? You don't have time to get that bond and connection with each other. You know, everything is just moving fast. Is me. You know, and that's one thing that we gotta stop doing. You know, we gotta start, you know, really caring about each other. But the only way to care about somebody is to not have self hate. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's and to be conscious of
So
what's going on.
So let me ask you this, and I agree. I agree 100% because at the state where you're at, uh, in the context in which you're speaking, this would be the mentality of someone who has actually either been raised right with the right information and was brought up that way, or somebody that don't been through it and had to learn it the hard way, and now at that juncture. So, what do you believe? Or what do you have as evidence to say this is a part of the reason why it's like that? Like, what things do you think trigger that in us? How do you think we get in that position, bro? Like, to be that we can't even speak to each other with positivity, and now we don't even be around each other enough, or when we are around each other, why we're not bonding? What happened from yesterday or from the time that you was growing up to help you see that? And my growing up, you know what I'm saying? We come from two different generations, pretty much. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? But we close in age. But I know I'm a little older than you are. But I know what you're saying. I remember the days that you can have the doors open, and it was yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, when you seen your elders. We went through things as
Hmm.
children, of course, as young people, of course, on our journey trying to learn. But if there was a root thing that you could go to say, man, this is part of the problem right here on why we don't have good communication skills, why we don't value each other, what would that be?
BTA, these the younger people, the new, the 2000 kids. You know what I'm saying? They're changing. They're changing the ways of, or they're not really trying to break the generational curses. Generational curses. is like uh your family is just stuck in poverty. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to rise above poverty. See, people think when they see that TRAP trap, they thinking of drug dealing and all this. The TRAP is trying to rise above poverty. You're trying to get out of the situation that you're in. That's so bad. You know what I mean? And we also got to learn that we have to know that it's not always about being right. It's not always about being first. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be the first one. Everybody want to be right. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you're going to be wrong. You know, you don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? Uh, every day you learn something new every day. That's literal. Like you literally learn something new every day. You know, and that's what I mean. I think it's the younger generation and them. They're putting everything on the elders. You know, they having these babies all crazy. They want to put them on the parents and all that stuff. You know, some people just aren't religious anymore. You know, they don't even believe in God. You know, these kids is this new generation, and it's crazy. Like some of the stuff that come out their mouth, and you know, so I believe that we have to get back to them whoopings and getting back to being more strict. You
Oh
know what I'm
boy.
saying, and caring about these kids' lives, man.
Oh boy, you said a word, man. And whoopings, you know what I'm saying? It's very controversial. I ain't gonna lie. I know I had my share of behind whoopings, and we're gonna definitely get into that because I have in my perception and through my experiences in dealing with the young versus old, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit after we come back after the break. So we're gonna cam down right now, mic down, and then we'll be right back, y'all, after this break. So hang in there with us, y'all, and shout out to Mr. Vegas in the room, and thank you for this conversation that we're having, brother. So we're gonna cam down and we're going to a commercial, y'all. So y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Mm. I'm just having some fun right here, my little makeshift studio. I'm just vibing. I'm with the creator, the gods and goddesses. You feel me? Transformation from one state to the next state mentally. Get your degrees up, not from their institutions of learning. Respect. Got to get back in the creator's classroom. Nature and the laws that govern nature. Know what it is from the roots. Yeah. Here's a little story about it. If I can get your attention for a minute. I am the Icon6. We are the City Network, Circle of the Gods, point six. You feel me? Hardcore. My introduction to the game. See, listen. It's scary when you know the truth, cause the truth open up things in your eyes. It could be no surprise. The murder, what it looked like, how they set it up when they go after you. I mean, they squeeze nuts. That's why your favorite rapper, he ain't that. He ain't that. Just a rapper, he ain't on that. That's his cap. If it came to the murder, they not like Pac. They ain't gonna stop. They just nigga hip hop. Yeah, and that's cool. Keep it entertainment while you're fooling the kids with the shit. I mean, that's danger. This ain't no movie. When they die and they don't come back. And then there's prison. Lock you up forever. Then you seeing them things back there you thinking is clever. I did mine the fair way. 28 plus, boy. I know what it is. So have a nice. Let's do it, man. We up in here, man. It is. We are the City Network. We are back. Let me go ahead and Cam back up. And yeah, man. You know, I think the spirit been moving me to really get back into my formation of thought process when it comes to organization, discipline, a lot of things that I picked up over time through my studies, through my experiences, and my ordeal that I went through. So it's right in line with what you're talking about. And to have the type of experiences that I have, I know that even though I don't have any accreditations or from any colleges, I am most certainly a professional speaker when it comes to life, period. Because I've been in the classroom for a very, 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 very long time. Um, so I want to address this right here because I know sometimes people say, "Oh man, everything is getting put on the YNs or the younger generations," and you know how the younger generations approach the elders, and it almost kind of make it seem like it's the children's fault. So inside of this and being fair and being just, because I like to come from that perspective in everything that I do, being fair and being just, right? I'm gonna ask this question: if children are born into the world and they have parents, and those parents don't give them truth because they don't have it, let's just start with that one first. Don't give them the type of truth to put them in a position that you're talking about. Is it the children's fault at that point, or are they just growing up under misinformation or no information that gives them the ability to see those things? And if that is the case, is it the children's fault or is it the generation before them that do not give them the proper guidance?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not the children's fault. It ain't. You know, they didn't ask to be here. Like that's the truth. You know, kids don't. We don't ask to be here. You know what I'm saying? It just happens. Uh, and what was I about to say? Yeah, yeah. No, I wouldn't blame them all the way. You know, uh, it takes two. You know what I'm saying? You can't help a broken home. Once you grow up and you being brought up in a broken home, that's just what it is. We have to learn to try to fix that. You know, um, and it all happened with the government. You know, the crack era, uh, um, them allowing mothers to put the dads on child support and the government assistance with the food stamps and all that stuff. So once you strip a man from his family, there's no balance. There's no balance in the family. So now it is trickling down. You know, a kid like they say, kids' mind is like a sponge. So whatever they see earlier, they grasp it. You know, they catch it. You know, so it it, it wouldn't be 100% the young kids' fault. You know, it's systematically too designed for us as well, but it starts within the household. It starts within. You got to build from the inside out. You don't build from the outside in. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Just like some of these schools, they took out, you know, trades, skills to pay the bills, how to work on the cars and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How to use your hands and stuff for things. So yeah,
You know what?
systematically as well.
Okay, absolutely. And the things that you're saying, right? And I want to say this for the viewers and those that will hear this on the replay. um these kind of conversations, they're very controversial because people have their own perceptions, their own experiences and things of that nature. One of the things that we try to do within the space when I create these spaces is to have an open and honest conversation and to respect the perceptions of our people who come and who generously give in the way of verbalizing what it is that they see, understand through their experiences and other things that they see other people experiences. And if you got the right type of mentality like Mr. Vegas does, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to see people just go down and just be down and oppressed and then us hurting us. You know what I'm saying? So and again, and being fair, right? We have to say everybody has a hand in our destruction, and everybody can have a hand in our rebuilding and our healing. You know, some people teach. There are some parents who actually plan, you know what I'm saying, before they have children. There are other people who are led through their desire because there's a natural inclination between the masculine and feminine principle, you know. And sometimes when we're moving without that sense of discipline, right, to say, hey, before I lay with this sister or before I lay with this man, you understand me? Let me get some protection if I know I'm not ready to have children. But in the world that we're living in, the hormones and the passion and the feel good overtake that sometimes, and then you have irresponsible parents and or guardians. And the point about the man not being in the home, one thing I can say, there are some men that want to be there, but can't be there for the reasons that they can't be there. It might be a discrepancy there somewhere with that man and that mother. And a lot of the times in the world we live in now, where it really did flip, because back in the day, and we can go and research this and get this information. I want y'all to do that there. When there was a separation with the men and the women, the children were left with the man or sent to the father. Different type of mentality than today. There has systematically been a intentional and purposeful attack on the masculine principle, because the masculine principle represents the military aspect, the security aspect, the authority aspect, because of the physical and what the creator put within the man to be able to hold that position, so that the woman don't have to take on all the responsibility, because she can't. You can't be a man and a woman, because you was given the role of the woman, and that's very important. The woman's role is very important. She's the cultivator of the seed. You cannot downplay that in any kind of way, because she's gonna spend, and these are my numbers, over 90% of the time with that child. The women spend more time with the children. Not that it's her child, it's her and the man child, but the man. Once you break that man, once you strip that man away through whatever process, and there are many different processes. So I don't want none of the viewers to get stuck on anything and hear like, oh, these sorry ass men. Yeah, it is some sorry ass men, like it's some sorry ass women. These are the facts. Okay, these are the facts. But we don't have to be sorry, but we in this thing now. We in it. We seeing children that don't want children now because of the way they grew up. Parents had to go out and had to go to work, because we live in a system of capitalism. And I think that's a part of the conversation that people need to get more focused on when we start talking about social constructs, social engineering, and how these systems are made and how we are programmed to think inside of this system. You're either going to be a master or a slave in this system, a producer or a consumer in this system. And we need to understand that all of the things that we're talking about today, absence of men, the absence of the mothers, and the children today, who are the remnant, because we are the remnant of a generation too, as our parents were the remnant of a generation too. And if we keep blaming and pointing the fingers at every generation instead of saying, hey, we messed it up, here's an opportunity to get it right. Maybe it might have to be a whole nother people just brought from us on that level, or we need to find those pockets and people that's already on that and teach that and start emulating those things. And I can call out a couple organizations, man, that's tight with what they have going on. And so I just wanted to make sure I put that out there in the air so people understand that we really here to help. This is not about woman bashing or man bashing. It's about us telling the truth about the controversial things that we do that's hurting us. And how do we get to the solutions that's already on the table, and what solutions must we create to make sure we get the balance that the brother is talking about. Okay, brother. And that being said, let's talk because I know communication with us is at an all-time low. We don't really have those kind of people skills, and we need those kind of people skills to be able to communicate effectively. Because we can't read minds, and you come to a person aggressive and you're talking aggressive, you might get aggression. You know what I'm saying? But another aspect of what you see out there, I'm gonna ask you this: dress code. I want to deal with dress code. Let's deal with it. Let's deal with it.
Let's get it.
What do you see when it comes to our dress code out here? Yeah, that makes it bad for us, because it ain't just the conversation, because
What
actions
what
speak louder than words.
a lot of well, let's first a lot of people need a stylist, man, because some people can't even dress, regardless if they trying to dress elegant, like, or or if they're trying to dress, with street clothes or whatever they call it. Um, yeah, some people just they just can't dress. You'll see some people with a orange hat on, with a blue shirt, green pants, and purple shoes, and it's a new style. Like, I don't know how it's trendy. I don't know who started this. But we gotta stop that, man. We gotta start taking it back to them days that when we dressed in suits and stuff, or a certain age. Them was for kids. Kids. That's, I believe, when you're in high school and stuff, you could do whatever you want. But as a grown man, I'm still seeing grown men, uh, brothers that look like us,
Mm-hmm.
dressing like they still in high school, man.
Mm-hmm.
You too old for that. You know what I mean? You're not. I I do want to start that business up. I am going to start that business up, a
Okay.
fashion and design, because people can't dress, man. I don't know what happened, and why the culture is trending like this, but it's crazy, man. How do you feel about it?
I think when it comes to colors now, we the original people. I'm gonna be honest with you. We are the original people. We understand colors. We understand the vibrations and frequencies of colors. If you know, you know. I think within our coding, we're just a colorful people. You know what I'm saying? And there's so much beauty in colors, and there's so much wisdom and knowledge in colors as well. So the greens and purples and all of the I think that's just in us. They're just like our ancestors that understood the gold and understood the silver and all those things that some people crazy about. They understood that ore had certain properties or was a conduit for certain things to happen that could generate, electricity or harness it or hold it. They understood, so they wore it. You know what I'm saying? And I do believe that within our coding, we just have that kind of attraction to the natural and the laws that govern nature because we are the guardians of the planet. Now, when it comes to just pants sagging, I'm gonna say this here. I'm my flesh is 54. I just had a birthday in April. You know what I'm saying? So 54 years I've been in this flesh. Dress code was a little different from the dress code we see today. You back then you wore your pants. I went through the whole era where they fit. So your mama put some stuff on. I ain't talking about that because your mama gonna throw you in something. You ain't got no say so when you're a little
Mm-hmm.
child. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But when you
Yes.
start becoming conscious, there's a few things that play on the mind. Materialism is always present. Again, we live in a capitalistic society, so name brand is one of them things. I just talked about this the other day in a conversation I was having, and it's like you don't want the stuff that people laugh at. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
So we used to have this thing about I don't want my mom and them or my grandma to go buy my stuff because they not gonna get no good quality stuff. They're gonna get some stuff that make me look like a clown out here. We're gonna get them BSTs. And if you don't know what BSTs is, they put you up on game. Bullshit tennises. We don't want no tracks. We don't want nothing that we can't play ball in. So we wanted to get what we thought was the best quality stuff. We wanted Nikes. We wanted Adidas. Back then, Chuck Taylors to the day still Chuck Taylors is my one on my number one list, of shoes. But I don't understand how we got to the point to where being outside, as a teenager, a young adult, and even some of the older people, as you say, because a young fool can turn into an old fool, that you have your whole ass out. Boxers look dingy as hell. Brother, you look dingy as hell. You don't look like you brush your teeth. You don't look like you wash your face. You know what I'm saying? And then like you got crud in you. Come on, like I don't understand how that can be fashionable, even if you clean with it. Because people will go out and buy $5,000 pair of jeans. You understand me? And have on all these clothing, design clothing, and your hygienes is off.
Yeah. That's they. You can't have peanut pockets and champagne dreams. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? You gotta execute the plan first. Like they always say, this stuff ain't going nowhere. All this stuff out here, the clubbing, whatever you want to do, it ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So you want to look like you got money, but you really messed up. You know what I'm saying? You got no property. You know, you got nothing, no assets, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? You're not even set up for retirement. You know, you got people out here that's in they late 20s,
Mhm.
you know, mid 30s, that when they get about, God willing, they make it to 60 something, they won't have nothing. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? You got the ability, God giving you the ability to get up and go do what you need to do. And that's the thing. He didn't create us to be asking each other for this. You know, we going through some hard times, cool, but
Mhm.
he gave you the ability to see, touch, hear, smell, taste, you know, and move. So when you got the chance to do all those things, he's telling you, you know, I'm giving you the keys. All you got to do is drive it.
Mm.
And some people don't want to get up and go do what they have to do, you know. So that's kind of hurting us too, because we getting more into begging and begging, and we got to realize that, you know, we're capable. You know what I'm saying? You gotta come with that positive energy and tell people, yeah, you know, you capable of doing it. But some people just don't want to hear it, man. They want to be lazy because you got some people that's just too nice. I'm guilty of that. I used to be
Yeah,
too nice
me
to
too.
want to help people. You know what I mean? So we got to understand that, you know, sometimes you got to say no, and in order for that person to get up, you know, you could lead them to the water,
Mm.
but you can't make them drink.
Mm. And I'm gonna echo in on that and say too, that it is very important again to have these conversations as a reminder, because you know when I was ushered out of federal prison, bro, after doing 28 plus years, I was 19 years old when I was arrested. Okay, I wasn't even legally an adult. I was 19. And from 19 to 47, when I walked out of that prison at 47, from 19 to 47, meaning from that time, and I'm just sharing this here because I don't want none of my young people to have to experience this. And if you are experiencing this here, I'm here to say I'm an example of you can bounce back. There's a way to get
Yeah.
back, and I'm living it right now. We're gonna talk about that maybe in another episode because we're at the 37-minute mark, and I want to respect time. We're gonna probably fold up out of here around about at the 45-minute mark. But I would say this here: I didn't transition with the technology. I never had a mortgage before in my name or rent in my name, light bill in my name, credit never had used that. Um, Basically, I live wherever I live. You know what I'm saying? I was into a lot of females. I had older females. I would live there, stay with them, whatever the case may be. But I was a smart person, and I wanted to deny being smart. The smart guy was the chump. The smart guy was the square. I didn't want to let people know that I love poetry and they knew I loved dance, but growing up as a young male, you know what I'm saying, it was always about the sports. It was always about the toughness and being tough. And you have to do that. If not, you're gonna be pegged as something else. So I'm saying that to say this here. If you don't get the proper information and the proper guidance, somebody to really grab you up, snatch you up by your neck and say, I refuse to let you throw your life away, then you're going to live in a vacuum where a system is trying to make you less, um, try to make you think less of doing for yourself, even though it's telling you to do something for yourself. It's here. So when you talk about lazy, when you talk about not having the information, not knowing what to do, right? You get stuck in this vacuum. And guess what that does? It puts you in a position to become a slave again. Because if you don't know how to do nothing, if you don't know how to get to the dollar, if you don't know how to get up and go to work and do something for yourself, a time is coming to where if you ain't got it, man, you're gonna become a bigger beggar, and a beggar becomes a slave again. Or you're
Yes,
just
sir.
gonna be in the wasteland. You're gonna be an NPC out here, non-participating character, and that's what we are. We are agent provocateurs in our own destruction because design set it up that way. And right now, to the sisters out there, they on y'all neck right now. They don't made you the new scapegoat. They don't already broke the back of most of the men. So you can't put it on the men no more. What we're seeing out here is the absence of an intelligent man, a disciplined man, an organized man that's in a household, giving a sister the opportunity to have the space she needs to be the cultivator of that seed, to give it the information, the right information, to guide it, to nurture. That's what we don't have anymore. And there was a time when we didn't have it at all, when we were separated. And I'm not bringing this up to be like, oh, slavery this, slavery that, because I believe at this point it's too much information, there's too much going on for us to even be trapped in that mentality.
Yeah, the technology.
They use that against us. So I think it's very important, brother. We're gonna have to do a part 2 to this, because we ain't even started digging yet. Like we just, this the first time, and we setting it up. We'll be able to set up a little bit more better, but I wanted it to be authentic. I didn't want it to be scripted, because I'm not really deep into the scripted stuff unless I'm trying to give out some statistics and things of that nature. I just like open, honest conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate
raw, uncut.
Yes, I appreciate you coming in. And shout out to the guests that's in this room. If anything that we're talking about is appealing to you or of interest to you, or if you have information that you would like to impart in a way, like I said, it's whatever, respectfully. And I do say respectfully, because I don't set my rooms up for trolls or negative people in that way. I respect your grind, but you can't grind in this grind. But if you're on something that's real and you're looking for to be a part of the solution, give your 2 cents, your 10 cents, or your 25 cents of information through your experiences, please leave a comment. Please leave information where we can find you, and maybe we can get you inside the space and hear what you have to say on why are we not moving at an accelerated rate towards positivity, and why are we so far behind as a people, specifically the African American, so-called Negro, nigga, whatever name that we call ourselves. And not just that, because we're going to be talking about everybody else too. We're going to talk about white folks, Asian folks. We're going to be talking about Hispanic folks. We're going to be talking about people. Because if you are Black, African American, African, whatever title it is, Muslim, Christian, these are titles. These are titles that come from a construct. And these same titles are the same thing that's causing us to think that we're different from each other, and that our value is different, because that was the illusion from the beginning, right? So that's what we're going to be on, and that's what we're going to talk about, and we're going to have fun doing it. And every now and again, I tell my people to come on. If you are a drinker, bring your drink in. I don't care if that's water, Sprite, 1800. You know what I'm saying? We're going to throw a couple back, and we're going to laugh. We're going to talk about real issues, but not from the position of downing each other, blaming each other, but say, hey, I messed up, you messed up. What can we do to straighten it up?
Understanding.
So I'm gonna do this for you, my brother. We at the 43-minute mark. We're gonna do our closing statements in a second here. So we're gonna cam back down. Y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after this break, and we're gonna do our closing statements and get up out here to prepare for the rest of our day. So I'm gonna cam down. Yep. Let me see here. Sometimes, man, we touching stuff I don't need to be touching over here. Yeah, I'm coming, y'all. Give me 1 second here. Let's do it. What's up with it? It's your favorite icon up in the building. What's happening? Fedora gang up in here. You see it? Woo! We out of City Network. Circle of the God, .6. Murder. We don't want to talk about murder. Been too many damn murders. Stop all the killing. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Murders. We don't want to talk about murders. Ceasefire. Guns down. Gloves up. Live to fight another day, that's what's up. To all of my grassroots captains out there in the hoods, doing the most good. Salute you. The ones who put it on the line every time, trying to pay off them dividends for different types of minds. Our children need direction and guidance, not this fake shit they giving them. that's trying, dividing. Keep them on slabs with toes on their toes, on their tags on their toes. You know, funeral homes making so much money. The doctors out there, I mean, they making so much money. It's like a racket. We killing each other in every bracket. Spiritually, this is a pact. To anything that's peace, man. It's your favorite icon. I'm here with Mr. Vegas, y'all. Representing. Where you representing? What you representing? And where you representing? PA? That boy out of PA.
Pennsylvania,
Let's do it.
Pittsburgh, baby.
Let's do it. I want to give a small
Before we-
shout out here. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. I was saying before we get out of here, I wanted to make a small statement about one thing about the cult. Last thing about the culture is, well, just people in general, man. You know, when you out here doing your thing, you just can't confuse your movement with progress. You know what I'm saying? They say, don't, don't, don't. You could be doing a lot, but not getting anything done. You know what I'm saying? So it's best that you take notes on your life. You know what I'm saying? Understand what you have done, what ain't working for you, you know, and find out what will work for you. You know what I'm saying? To help that progression in your life, you know. That's all I wanted to say.
Absolutely, and we appreciate that, and appreciate you, Mr. Vegas, up in the space, man. And I got this thing called closing statements that I do at the end, kind of like what you just did, like your final thoughts. I'm gonna say
Yes,
this
sir.
here. Want to give a acknowledgement to my hometown, Fort Pierce, Florida, St. Lucie County. Shout out to Luce County and all the surrounding counties, Okeechobee, Indian River, Martin, all the way down to Key West coming on up, Miami, Lauderdale, Palm Beach. You already know what time it is. Both sides, East Coast, West Coast of Florida, up in the Panhandle, Pensacola was up. Tallahassee was up. That's the state capital. Jacksonville, my second home, away from home. Duval up in this piece. The show representing Florida, all parts, Tampa, St. Pete, you name it. And to all of our brothers and sisters all over the United States, West Coast, Midwest, up north, and down south, and to our international family as well. It's love. We're trying to do something positive. We're trying to do something as the masculine principles. Because I'm gonna tell you something. There's a lot of men out here that's scared to open their mouth because they feel like don't nobody want to hear what they gotta say. And now we just hush hush. Like they don't really like made you tuck your tail. We here to say, pull that tail from between your damn leg, bro, and grow a set. You need to regrow a set of nuts because your voice is valuable. What you have to
Yeah.
say is important. And yes, we do need to reform our mental and spiritual capabilities to form our military, meaning our structure of protection for our women and children and each other as men. We ain't trying to do nothing less than that. I'm not here worrying about no camel toe and booty clapping. It has its part. It do all that there, but that's not no priority. Trying to
And we
put money.
talking we're
Go
gonna get to
ahead.
these simps, man. We're gonna talk about simps too as well. But go ahead, brother. I'm sorry
Yeah,
to
we definitely gonna get into that. I'm not interested in holding a stack of money next to my ear. You know what I'm saying? Because these are the trademarks of what they talking about, some trend setting or we making it. That ain't making it. That's not what making it is. Making it is having a community in a society that we can be lax. Our older generations, elders can come outside. Our children can play without the fear of being gunned down in the street, or feeling that they have to walk in a store to take something from anywhere. We need to rebuild that structure, you know what I'm saying, and push it forward. And we need our young people because they are the future. You're the future mothers and fathers, directors and commanders. And so I'm saying, as an elder, I'm extending my platform for those kinds of conversation, those type of people. And yes, it's gonna be hella funny sometimes because we're gonna have some hella funny people inside this space, but we're gonna have some very serious people. And I want the feminine principle, the queens, the goddesses, to make sure y'all lock in because we got to have y'all up in here too. You can't really have balance if the sisters ain't putting a part in there from a positive perspective. We don't want all that wild shit. You won't be coming in this space talking about the nigga ain't shit. Yeah, we already know the nigga ain't shit. The nigga wasn't made to be shit. Let's get that understanding. And when you say nigga, you covering yourself too, sister. We don't escape none of this here. We in this shit
yeah.
together. We're gonna have to get out this shit together.
Saying nigga, not man. You say a man, that's different.
Okay. Tenfold. So we got some closing statements. I'm already a little bit over. I didn't want to go this long, but we'll come back and we'll do another part, and we're gonna have more conversations as well. Whenever the brother is available and we're available, because we do work and we do other things. So in 60 seconds, man, give your closing statements, bro.
Well, that was basically it, man.
Okay.
For real, that
That was
was it.
basically it. Okay,
I don't want to
10-4.
get too in the deep because then we're gonna have to cut it short. We're gonna keep them craving for more. You know,
They might be crazy.
let's keep them craving, man. We got a lot of things coming, a lot of important things
Yeah.
coming.
I'm gonna get Miss Didi and them on here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get them on here too, and a few other people inside the space that want to come and want to just conversate. And we're gonna have fun with it. And in my closing statements, all I'm gonna say is keep your head on the swivel because it is dangerous out here. Protect yourself at all times because you have a right to protect yourself. You okay? And last but not least, use your mind, because if you don't use your mind, somebody else will. These are the facts as best as I know them. You understand me? And I'm not here to say that I know everything, because I don't know everything. I'm still in the classroom, gonna stay in the classroom until I transition about this flesh. And let me tell you something. I am not my flesh. My flesh will crawl back to the earth. But this energy, this intellect, this power, they can't do nothing with this here. And the sooner we understand that and know that that's when we'll start reclaiming our power back and doing the most. When you're out here in this world, don't bow your chest. I understand that you want to, when we get stopped by certain people or people that's doing these things, maintain your calm and your cool so you can think. Don't let the emotion be what lead the self community. Let the math, let the information, right guide the information, the light of the creator leads you, and you will find safety. I love y'all with God's perfect love. Thank you again, Mr. Veggas.
yes, sir.
Look forward to having you back, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can come back as many times as we set this up to do this, because I want to make sure I schedule these in a way that I can let the people know in advance what's going to be happening and what they can look forward to. And we here. Real deal, baby. We are the City Network, Circle of the Icon6. I am the Icon6 Mr. Veggas.
Yes, sir.
It's almost time for your ass to go to work.
All right,
All right, y'all. It's love, man.
brother.
We up out this piece.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I don't know what y'all thinking, but we see the industry is fake as hell. Shit fake. But what's real? Minds that's being destroyed by this shit. Our babies out here twerking. Goddamn, identify what's up. And you hurting, motherless child.